Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is May 6th, 2021. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers watching. What's new, Howard? New haircut?
No, my hair has literally developed a mind of its own. What's remaining of it just does what it wants.
AI.
I think my barber was literally somebody I owe money to, maybe.
Could be. Maybe he bought your SPAC, right?
I, I would say we're even. Oh, look at you with SPAC jokes. All right, what's going on?
All right, let me share my screen. The S&P 500, the Dow Jones, they keep making new all-time highs as the market continues to price in rising inflation expectations. I mean, if you take a look at some of the charts of commodities, and we talked about them last week and many times before. In lumber is up like 130%. We have lean pigs, or lean pork up 60%, corn up 50%. Like commodities across the line are near multi-year highs. All the metals, copper, nickel, aluminum, even gold and silver that have gone nowhere for so long are waking up and building bases while the US dollar is losing ground. So inflation continues to be the main theme in the market, and it's even stronger than the so-called recovery theme and back to normal theme. So it's been all about inflation, and while all the commodities, metals, basic materials are so strong, a lot of the former tech leaders, most of which software, are under pressure. I don't know if this is a paradigm shift where all of a sudden the market says, you know what, the tech outperformed for 10 years, was a superstar. Now all of a sudden we're not going to pay 50 times sales for a software company anymore.
Yeah. We'll see. They're paying that for plenty of companies, but that weak dollar is, it does explain rare assets, including, Google. They're paying that much for, Ivan.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the price to sale or price to earnings in Google, it's nowhere near those guys. But one can make the argument that all the speculative money has moved from tech into crypto, which is just a new version of tech, I guess.
Much smaller industry. That's not still just basically the size of Apple. Not that that's small, but it's still with all the money printing. It's still very little places to go other than stocks. So I still think it's what you said. It's still this massive rotation into things other than tech right now. Goldman Sachs all-time highs, right?
Financial as well, which also is
what's that? Metals and mining. Okay.
Yeah, all the financials near all-time highs. Oil working up, a lot of strength in the energy sector.
Housing.
Yes, housing. Super strong.
Look at that.
And also retail. Retail is looking amazing as well for whatever.
Oh my God, yeah. I was just joking about Ethan Allen, ETH, which I think people think is Ethereum, but it's Ethan Allen's. Look at that thing. Buy that thing at $8, a 4-bagger since. Anyways, it's very hard to comprehend, the people that miss buying in April, May, June, July, August, and then the flip to crypto. There's just so much money sloshing around. The question is, if you look at ARK, is it really going to come out of these? Is there just too much money? Is the trade just too obvious? And we'll see. I honestly don't know.
ARK, I think
that's ominous. That's pretty ominous. But at the same time, technicals haven't really meant that much for a while.
I mean, I wouldn't say so. It's been in a downtrend. So any little rally to its declining 20 and 50 day has been sold off. So technicals do matter and have mattered.
No, I mean at the turns, like these things can turn around so fast. So yeah. I mean, it looks weak. Don't get me wrong, but these things can just turn around.
Especially considering that I think ARK, they own a bunch of Bitcoin, right? In the ETF.
Not sure. The and then the semis, are they kind of rolling over too?
Oh no, they're actually holding. They're one of the few spaces in tech that is still holding. It's back above its 50-day, even almost back above its 20-day. So it's just taking its time. It's in a range.
Mm-hmm. It's hard for me when it's just energy and metals and commodities. Luckily, I've got some crypto, but it's hard for me to just get excited about owning.
But also retailers. I mean, basically everything other than tech.
Mm-hmm. So everything's working, right? Because the S&P is at all-time highs, right?
Yeah, and then Dow Jones
and the
too.
Dow is at all-time highs,
and the
right?
small caps are not doing that bad either. I mean, they're just going it's been going sideways since.
So the only real weakness is high growth tech, and maybe that's just because of inflation, right? Like it helps hard assets, And listen, there is, Apple's in lawsuits, Facebook's, I mean, it's just the government's got everybody in their sights. It was the obvious trade for a decade. No, sorry, it was the obvious trade very lately since the March bottom. And it seems like it just became crowded. So the money's finding its way into other areas. What kind of stuff excites you on the swing side?
On the swing side, I mean, there's some interesting setups in energy. They're kind of setting up, obviously this one is in a big range. FANG. I mean, they're not the perfect setup. They're a little bit sloppy, but they're looking bullish. As I mentioned, the retail sector is looking good. Looks like setting up for a breakout.
Yeah.
That internet retailer RVLV, big breakout on Friday.
Oh, you've liked this one for a while, or you mentioned it.
Yeah, it continues record earnings. So it continues to make new highs.
Can I see a weekly or monthly? That thing had man, I missed that thing. Oh, wow. That looks like far-fetched when it doubled. Wow. Okay, so I got to do a little work on this. So it's a retail for millennial and Gen Z. So that thing just cratered after the IPO. So it's already a 10 bagger from the bottom.
Yeah, but this is typical for IPOs. Companies that IPO right before a big market correction, which we had in early 2019 and also early 2020. So,
wow,
to dive.
Yeah, that's what far-fetched it.
This one is looking interesting also. CRSR. They had a record earnings last week and didn't sell off, which is kind of unusual for most tech stocks. Going sideways, but setting up. So we'll keep an eye on this one.
Look at the earnings. I mean, the earnings are like. So what does Corsair do? Manufactures hardware components.
Yes.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't excite me. Okay. What else is on?
That makes me even more bullish, Howard.
Listen, I only do what I can do. I can't get. I don't game, so I don't use the product.
With all the heat in crypto, like I'm kind of surprised that NVIDIA is not doing even better. It's been just going sideways for.
A lot of it could be priced in, right? Because tech has been weak, so it's actually done pretty well. I mean, if you look at the weekly, look at that run off the bottoms of 5-bagger.
Yeah.
But Ethereum still seems to be the biggest winner off the bottom that was available to everybody.
Yeah, with market cap of what, 450 billion. Like personally, I can see in the next year or two the market cap of Ethereum exceeding the market cap of Bitcoin. Why not? If Bitcoin is just considered digital gold, something that is super rare, only 21 million coins, Ethereum could be considered like the new software, and everything new is built on top of Ethereum. So I can see.
Be surprised. Again, I haven't studied enough, but yes, what you read is that But remember, most of the stuff that's important is happening on trading, like FTX and Binance. So the ones that are interesting are the ones that are facilitating that, like Solana. But again, they've all had such good runs um, that, but they don't look. Well, that's the trust, not actual Ethereum. I mean, go pull up a monthly chart of Ethereum and it'll just blow your mind.
Oh yeah, let me go to.
In is San Diego busy? It's packed in Phoenix.
Oh yeah, it's
We
super.
couldn't get in anywhere for Mother's Day.
Well, it's every year is like this, Howard. Nothing new.
Not last year, not last Mother's Day. Look at how many green bars there are on the weekly there.
This is daily, Howard. This is daily.
Oh,
Let's
so
pull
let's
up.
give me a weekly.
Monthly is just too crazy.
Okay,
Let's go
look
back
at
to
that.
weekly.
I'm sorry, I was selling at 33, 34 for 3,500 last week, and I'm wrong again, but like, I've never seen anything like that. I say that once every 10 years, but this is the once every 10 years. That just blows away. The sheer verticalness of this means something. So, so I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I think what you say, there's some truth to what you say, but uh, it's really fascinating. Like pull up a Bitcoin weekly.
Here we go.
I mean, Litecoin's back at all-time highs. If we
Yeah,
go, yeah, Bitcoin's, if we pull up Litecoin, I mean, these things are all derivatives of, Litecoin's kind of a fork of Bitcoin. I don't fully get all of it, but anyways, the speculation is just moving around. I think we can agree on that, right? It's come out of software names into rare, harder to get software names. GameStop's still floating around at all-time highs.
yeah. Let me go back to market smith, Jimmy.
Sorry, yeah. So GameStop's still floating around at all-time highs. Nah,
Uh,
but
the all-time high is just going sideways.
yeah. But still, just
It's a
incredible.
miracle that it's not at all-time lows. That's what I think at this point.
Anyways, the Phoenix is wide open. I'm going to be in New York in a couple of weeks to feel that out. Miami was wide open. San Diego's opening, you're saying, and you've got your shot.
Everything is open. Yeah, yeah.
You've got your shot. And people like Little Italy is booming, right?
Yeah, it's definitely booming. I mean, 50% of California is fully vaccinated, and probably another.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the question is, what's priced in? Don't know. A lot of these retail stocks now have figured out how to do. Yeah, I remember where I was buying that at like 50 and it was a good double, but it looks strong. Like if we go to a weekly on that,
This is weekly.
no, it's coming into right where, but I mean, it's on declining look at that change in ownership of the base, right? For months and months of high churn and so this is a new shareholder base. Whoever wanted out of retail is out of retail. That's the way I see it. So there could be something more to this retail, and they all could be restoration hardware. So there's going to be more restoration hardwares out there.
Yeah, a
You know?
lot of people
And I know I say it every week, Ivan, but like 4 days a week, I get a coffee at McDonald's, and it's my favorite thing to do. Here's the thing about McDonald's.
Are they paying you?
No, here's the thing about McDonald's. They've invested so much money in tech. Like when I go to a Dairy Queen drive-through, it's my daughter. Like no matter what we do, the order's screwed up. Like it's like fucking Warren Buffett hasn't invested a nickel. Like you drive by a Dairy Queen and that's COVID. Dairy Queen is COVID, right? Like luckily they're only if you order food from Dairy Queen, you're insane. Okay, if you let them do anything beyond ice cream, and then you go to a McDonald's and you do the drive-through experience, and like the sound is perfect. It's like stereo sound, and then like a machine comes out of the next window, and you put your card in. It's like magic. And I'm not questioning. I don't forget the food for a moment. But if you want, half of America, when the checks stop coming, if they stop coming from the government with inflation the way I think it's heading, is I think the McDonald's and again, I don't know which item they make their money on. It could just be coffee and soda. I don't know where it is because they don't charge anything for their food. But I just have a feeling that like that's all America, half of America can afford. and I think there could be a renaissance um, in this thing. I mean, it's gone nowhere for what, 2, 3 years, and I think they have a little bit of pricing power, to be honest, because the competition's just shit, like pure shit. Chipotle's expensive, so if you're rich, you can order your Chipotles to your house. So anyways, it's still something that interests me is this McDonald's place. Something fascinating about how they've done it. And then what else that I've added recently? Goldman, I think, is sneaky. I hate it, but it's sneaky.
McDonald's
Oh, Arco. What's Arco's Dorados?
is the McDonald's in of South American.
That's very interesting. Give me a weekly.
Okay.
That's a mess. But
But
look at all that distribution over the last year.
breakouts.
Yeah, but I mean, it's coming into like major monthly. But again, there's so much volume in the last 2 years that this could be a whole new shareholder base. And I think that's what people have to understand. That is a good breakout. Anybody who wanted out of this sold. So that's an interesting one, Ivan. What's the 26 cents a share? I mean, not crazy if it doubles. The question is, does Latin America open? Right?
Eventually.
I
Maybe here.
still believe. I mean, they're in the hell bent of this as well. Anyways, lots of stuff working, I guess, is the point. There's something for everybody in this market, and if you've been tech for the last 10 years, you've had a great run. Don't give it all back. I don't think we crash much further in this type of market from this position, but there's nothing to be said. This can be chop soup for 2, 3 years.
Yeah.
And there's been some big givebacks. Like I look at Twilio, which I own, big give back. The numbers were great.
Yeah.
You know, what can you do? Sometimes the numbers are great and the price is the price. Like these stocks want to go lower. They had great runs. And these things can just chop around down here. All right, buddy. I mean, summer doldrums, I think. Have a great week. I'll see you out in San Diego.
Yeah. All right, Howard.
Cheers.
Bye.